The story you're about to hear might leave you in tears. It was a cold November afternoon. Chicago's bustling Michigan Avenue was crowded with people. But that day, Donald Trump's path would lead to a life-changing encounter. Clad in a long blue-black coat and red tie, Trump strolled down the avenue when he suddenly stopped. His eyes were drawn to a woman sitting against a building. She was shivering from the cold, her worn and dirty clothes almost making her invisible to the crowd. But what truly caught Trump's attention was the tattered and stained military uniform she was wearing. The faded US Army patch on the left shoulder was still faintly visible. He approached her and softly asked, "Ma'am, what's your name?" The woman looked up, her eyes filled with both surprise and weariness. "Teresa Hensley," she replied. "You're a veteran, aren't you?" Trump continued. The woman nodded weakly. "Yes," she said in a low voice. "I served in the army for 12 years, got injured overseas, and since then, nothing has been the same. I lost my job and then my home." Trump stood silently for a moment. This woman had given 12 years of her life to serve her country, making unimaginable sacrifices. And now, she was struggling to survive on the streets. Determined, he said firmly, "Wait here," and stepped away to make a call. He quickly dialed his assistant. "Margaret, book a room at the nearest hotel and get a doctor there immediately. It's urgent." Then he turned back to Teresa and bought her a steaming bowl of soup and a sandwich from a nearby vendor. As Teresa ate, Trump listened to her story in greater detail. She recounted her deployments, the friends she had lost, and the explosion that left her injured and forced her to retire. Retirement, however, had brought anything but peace. Her struggles to find work, mounting health issues, and eventually homelessness had brought her to this point. Moments later, a black SUV pulled up beside them. The driver stepped out and opened the door. Trump said gently, "This is for you. We're taking you somewhere safe." Teresa hesitated, her voice trembling. "Why are you doing this? You don't even know me." Trump looked her in the eye and replied, "Because someone should have done this a long time ago." The SUV took Teresa to a luxury hotel, where the staff, already briefed by Margaret, welcomed her warmly. She was shown to a room where a hot shower, clean clothes, and a comfortable bed awaited. A doctor arrived shortly afterward to check on her health and provide treatment. Meanwhile, Trump's team coordinated with a veterans organization to arrange long-term support for Teresa. By morning, Teresa's life had taken a sharp turn for the better. Temporary housing had been arranged. She was enrolled in job training programs, and she had received financial assistance. Trump's foundation covered her rent for an entire year, and he handed her a check for immediate expenses. As Trump prepared to leave, Teresa turned to him, her eyes welling up with tears. "You've changed my life. I don't know how to thank you," she said. Trump gave her a kind smile and replied, "Don't thank me. Just promise me one thing, pay it forward one day." As Trump left the hotel, a quiet sense of fulfillment washed over him. In just a few hours, a life had been transformed. And for Teresa Hensley, a new, hopeful chapter had just begun.